Good morning. Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, many of you have been listening to the Bobby Dupre Show for the past 35 years on KSLO, 12:30 a.m. on your dial, and now their sister company, 105.3. And things are shaping up pretty good in your life.
Yes,
you
sir.
Passed a good Christmas?
Had a nice Christmas. Santa Claus passed, so I must have done something right, or somebody in the house did something right. So.
And then many of you are watching it, of course, on the cable television throughout Acadiana, 9 of the large productive parishes in the state of Louisiana. And I might add, also now with the internet, many are watching it on their iPhone, probably BlackBerry, and the computer.
The iPad.
I mean, there's all kind of ways. There's no reason why you shouldn't be watching the Bobby Dupre Show, at least occasionally. And I get that from a lot of people that live away from here, that when they think about it, they try to get the program. And more and more reports that I get is on Saturdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. So we want to remind you, if you happen to miss a portion of the program, met Mary and Manny Wartell at Swallows on Tuesday. We had a board meeting for Gulf States Life, and we went to lunch, and that would have been Mark Carter, David Lincoln, myself. And sitting next to us, of course, were my dear friends. I guess Mary Bradley was maybe a year ahead of me in school, but we had the little cafe back in those days when we were all younger. And I got to know all the classes, you know, everybody in school, basically. And we've kept our friendship going, and saw them. And they saw a portion of the program. I think it was on Thursday. So on Saturday afternoon, she says, you know, Manny, we could watch the Bobby Dupre Show and you could miss the portion that you missed. So just to show you, you get to say good morning to 2 of my longtime friends. And there's something that tells me, it looks like Manny was a little ahead of us in college, and he gave me a ride one day when I was hitchhiking, and brought me to the building where my first class was going to be held that day. Maybe it wasn't Manny, maybe it was somebody else, but something tells me it was him. So anyhow, good morning to all of you out there, and hope you had a good Christmas, and hopefully you're preparing for a good, smooth start in 2012. Can you imagine already getting to 2012? And did you have a good Christmas holiday?
Oh, yeah. Went all over. Visited my mom's, visited my sister's house with my dad and everybody. So we went all over and did well. Everybody was in a good mood.
Well, we have some pictures of my Friday night.
I went to Bobby Dupre's house.
That's correct. Right. That's right, on Friday night. And we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to talking about, and one thing I wanted to say, and we haven't used that recently, the program is about good news. And good news comes in all kinds of forms and methods. And we got a real nice thank you from Greg Dean. I don't think he'd mind us just talking a little about it. On last week's program, we mentioned the fact that his mother had died. And she, of course, had had I would say a full life, because what they had, 6 boys,
I think
one girl,
one girl and 6 boys,
and he comments in this thank you for us mentioning about his mother, the fact that when Monsignor Derwin was doing the mass, and I guess portion of the eulogy. How does he says that? He says, Father Derwin said it best during the homily when he recognized Miss Dean had 7 children, 1 daughter and 6 boys who were, well, interesting. And that's to say the least. But anyhow, we try to give a little story of the people that we know the best when we mention these, just a little bit of the background. And we do call that good news, because a lot of times the news media didn't reach all of the friends. So this is another method of getting the news out we had Mrs. Ledoux asked us to mention her husband. She thought we had forgotten to mention it in August when he died. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, she sent us an email, and we took care of that. And we take it as good news because we're going to only say good things about the deceased. And
we remember all the family,
and
because it gives us a chance to talk about all the characters like Greg and Dean and the
whole crew there. And Kelly had a good touching story that Kelly, my daughter, Kelly Dupre, about a person who wrote to Les Miles, the head coach, and the article was written by Kenneth Haynes from Shreveport, Louisiana, and he wrote to Coach Miles saying how Sam Montgomery, one of the LSU players,
big defensive lineman,
yeah, how he had stayed after the game was over. And I think the Auburn game, it's mentioned in there. And it shows where he stayed till he signed every autograph for every person, particularly the young kids that were there. There were maybe 25 of them that had stayed, and he was the last LSU person that's walking out of the dressing room.
Then one of the kids asked if he could give him a sweatband or something. He dug in his bag, and he had a pile of them just to give to the kids. He autographed each little sweatband, and even gave one to the man who wrote the article.
Right.
So very nice.
Very nice article. So again, that's some little stories that we like to get out there because
you don't always hear the good news about what those players do.
No,
when they go
in fact, this year we had
sing the Christmas carols.
We had a number of things that we didn't like to hear and read about and hear about, but those same players have made the team what they are at this particular point in our season, and of course, I'm wearing my Saints.
I like that. And that's that new gold color that they're coming out with this year.
I like it. I really like it. And the reason I guess I like it more, it was free. Kelly gave me that. Kelly and Lola, her puppy, they gave me this shirt.
Very good.
And then they gave me the LSU book about the history of the LSU Tigers.
You better teach me something then.
Yeah, well, I'll let you browse through it. It won't take you long. It's a lot of pictures. And you gave me the Ali book.
I did. That's right. I gave you the Ali book.
It's mostly pictures. You took a book you figured I'd read.
Well, you love to take photographs. You like Muhammad Ali, and those photographs in there are not just snapshots. A lot of those are all done by professional photographers. Some really good photos, and then it's somebody you know.
And the photos, like you said, were done by professionals who allowed him to use this in the book.
Yeah, and he goes all the way from his early years in the Golden Gloves into the Olympics.
The Olympics.
And then all the way through his professional career. So it's kind of a neat...
I read it in about 10 minutes. I'm up on you on that one. He's a speed reader, and I'll be honest, I never get through a big book. But I did get through one. You remember, I mentioned it this year. Earlier this year, I read the Father Verbus Lafleur book in one reading, one Sunday afternoon. I read the whole book. I didn't go to bed till I finished reading the book.
If you're looking for a copy, I know Crossroads Bookstore in Lafayette has got it. I know Philip Andrepont right here with Andrepont Printing has got it. And at Guarantee Glass over here in town, you can get a copy of the Father Lafleur book. Good, interesting story of a priest who was a soldier who did a lot for folks. How about some sponsors, man? We got to do that.
Yeah, boy, that's the ones who make this program available to all of us.
Mr. Benny, I went to church on Christmas morning, and I saw Mr. Benny and Miss Mary at church. He had such a good time in church. He left, and he came back. He was so happy, but I think it might have been because he forgot Miss Mary's umbrella. That's why they came back in. But good morning, Mr. Benny. He was in a good mood, and we talked about how he's had a good year. He invites everybody to come to get all their New Year's things over at Benny's. You know, you're going to do all that cooking. The fresh cabbage right now, he's got 4 pounds for $1.
Starting last Wednesday, I saw the crowds around the store because we pass there all the time.
The black-eyed peas, you got to have black-eyed peas for New Year's as well. The Virginia baked hams, they're going to do the meals all the way through, I think, on New Year's Eve. So you can get a Virginia baked ham, black-eyed peas, and smothered cabbage at the deli, and the big old meals. They got 7 days a week. The deli is open. You can go and get the fresh produce there.
It doesn't pay 2 or 3 people in a house to start cooking all of this when they can go there, get it freshly cooked that day,
Already
and
done for
it's
you.
delicious. They know what you're looking for. You
And the
good
portions are so
Cajun
big,
food.
you can almost split it, or if you're one
three
person,
people,
you can hit it
two
again.
plates, I'm sure would be enough.
That's right.
But
So
buy 3 just to be sure.
just to help them out.
Yeah.
Go by Mr. Bennett's, Miss Barrett's gift shop, still open for those last-minute Christmas ideas, because you're going to be giving some gifts out here at the end. A little Benny's nutritional supplements too, because those New Year's resolutions. You know, you're going to start working out and getting on that treadmill, and the brew shack in the back where you can get all the imported beer.
You want to do another one?
Oh,
or you
yes,
just want
I
to
do.
stay on that one all morning?
How about Carl's Thrifty Way? If you want to go by Carl's Thrifty Way, they've got gifts as well for last minute for Christmas. You know, Christmas. Our priest give a nice homily about Christmas begins on Christmas Day. It doesn't end. And for the next 12 to 15 days, you need to be celebrating Christmas. So you're still giving out gifts. Go by Carl's Thrifty Way. You still got plenty of gifts there. Your medicinal needs, over-the-counter, and prescription medications as well. They'll take the time to talk to you. Their staff's very well trained. They even do home decorating if you need that type of thing at your home as well. They'll go out, take a look around, and come up with some ideas to do some things. Carl's Thrifty Way.
Called in my renewals this morning. Sure
You
did.
did. Well,
yes,
good.
sir. And I don't know if you noticed, hopefully you did, the nice wreath that I had over my fireplace at home. That was the one I bought last year from It's just like it was last year. It's got but last year I didn't realize there was a light in it. And this year,
You turned the light on.
When Mac and I was hanging it up there, well, Mac was hanging it up there. He's tall enough to hang it without a step. I told him to bring a step ladder. Well, he looked at it. He eyeballed that. He didn't go get the step ladder. But anyhow, we like to have fun on the program, just in case this may be your first time.
Don't tell anybody the light was there last year. What you do is you tell them added a light this year.
Okay,
you know?
all right.
I saw this too. We talked about Philip Andrepon a while ago. If you're looking for some LSU Huggies, he's still got the BCS National Championship game Huggies. I know a lot of people are buying them by the dozen to give out as party favors for the big party.
$2.
January 9th is when the thing is. It's Monday night on TV. And well, let's hit one more sponsor before I give up on you. Just real quick. Steamboat Warehouse. Steamboat Warehouse, the night of the national championship, that's Monday. It won't be the full-blown restaurant that night. It's going to be just a championship game with the full bar open and appetizers, big, hearty appetizers all night long at the Steamboat Warehouse. If you want to go by that night, he's going to have 5 or 6 televisions set up all over, so you can see him from wherever you're sitting at your table. Go by the Steamboat Warehouse, get mom away from the smell of her own cooking. Great last-minute gifts as well, gift certificates. I gave a pile of gift certificates to the Steamboat to folks.
I didn't get mine yet. It must be in the mail.
That wasn't your gift. You got a book.
Oh, I thought I'd get that.
I was helping you with your diet. I
Yeah,
don't want to mess you up.
Boy, you know what? You know what I hit this
Kessler, we'll
morning?
see you the other side
You know
of
what I
3.
hit this morning?
What you hit?
189.
I don't know if I believe that.
But 189.
We'll have to get on together.
Yes, sir.
Both feet?
Both feet on. Yeah. Both feet. Really doing well.
Wow.
And I'm eating plenty, but I'm leaving a portion. You know that old story about leaving a portion on the plate? It works. And the stomach seems to shrink at the same time. And
I'm going to catch you the way it's going, or you're going to catch me, I guess, is the way it's going.
And none of that good beer anymore either. You know, that has helped
that
too.
Makes a big difference.
That has helped.
Puts the appetite when you don't drink.
Talking about helping, Dominic Stockyards, it says Karen Crow, but of course Tuesdays is Opelousas, Dominic's, and on Wednesdays it's in Karen Crow. Mike Dominic, who runs the whole operation, real fine young businessman. He'd like to thank all the cattlemen of Southwest Louisiana for the success of the weekly sales. And he says he's got new buyers that's come in from various regions, creating a top market. Short supplies coupled with high demands give all indications of a continued high price for your cattle. He'd like to remind you that our livestock sale will resume on Tuesday, over here in Opelousas, and on Wednesday, the 4th, over in Karen Crow. So I'm sure the Tuesday would be over here because they operate together. And that's good news for our cattlemen. And our local people who are in the cattle industry and others who raise hay and bale it really have helped with 18-wheelers. I'd like to know the count that left our area throughout South Louisiana where they had enough rain to make at least 2 cuttings this year, maybe not the 3rd cutting, but 2 at least, that have shipped hay to our friends over in Texas to help those cattle.
Northeast Texas, tremendous.